Oh, excellent, I'm live. Fantastic. I wanted to play a little bit of music and I also wanted to tell everyone about my upcoming album. And you can see I have this whole new setup over here where I was going to stream from the computer. I don't know why it didn't work on the computer, so that's totally fine. But anyway, welcome. I'm over here doing some music. First, I'm just going to play a little something and then I'll tell you all about upcoming album. And I can't see your comments because I have my little phone over here. So apologies if I'm not responsive to your comments in the moment. Let me play a little something first because I'm always more articulate with music than I am with my mouth. Here. Oh, and now nothing will work because I don't have things set up properly because I have an audience. I had it set up right here. Let's see if it'll work. I know I pressed the right buttons. I swear, everyone, I pressed the right buttons to make things work for you. Oh my goodness. Here, let's see if we can get anything to work. Press the right button. No, it's still not working. Let's try it again. Boy, oh boy. I know, nothing is worse. Oh, wait. It might be a jiggly wire. Might have been a jiggly wire. Let's see if that was it. Hold on. Like I said, new setup. Jiggly wire was the problem. All right. Move things back a little bit. And also, apologies if it's not the best sound quality because I'm just going through... Oh, it's not even my real mic over here. It's just my cell phone mic. So in case you haven't heard, I'm going a little experimental here. I would love to tell you about my upcoming album. It is called Under a Gentle Sun. So you guys remember my first album. Oh, good, I can see your text. Hello. Oh, the sound is clear. Good. Thank you so much for that sound check. First album is called Birth of the Flying Rainbow Lasagna, and I stayed true to a more traditional melodic structure and also songwriting approach, even though I was working with a lot of digital content. That means that I thought, how could I translate any of these songs into an actual live performance, with analog beings playing analog instruments if I wanted to. And in subsequent songwriting, after I did that, I decided I'm just going completely into the cosmic world and like humans, like hang on to your hats, hang on for the ride. And I always share, I'm standing back so you can see me in the camera better here. I always share my ongoing projects, like whatever I'm working on in terms of a song, with my patrons on Patreon, a group of what to say, like stalwart, what's a better word, very courageous artistic individuals, and I play some really weird music sometimes and I put it up on there and kind of like throw this out there and let's see what is the response. And sometimes I have a surprisingly good response to things that I consider to be highly experimental, not unlistenable because my music does have structure and I try to make things that don't have like unpleasant tones for the ears. But I was very pleasantly surprised. I made some really experimental stuff. So that is what is showing up on the new album, Under a Gentle Sun. It is meant to be the wishing for a more gentle world where there's not pollution and there's not psychic pollution and there's a greater capacity to connect. And the very first songs on the album, I stayed very true to that vision of what I was trying to portray. And you can hear the music is more gentle and melodic. And then my exploratory musician side took over and I started to write some very unusual music that, like I said, some of it is more challenging, I would say, to listen to. Maybe I should turn this off so that I'm not backlit. Hold on a second. Much better. Maybe challenging is a better word because it's, I think, really rocking. Like, I would like to write the music that I like to listen to, and I like rocking music, or I should say grooving, or something that has a pleasantness to it that makes me feel like, yeah, I want to move my body or I want to do stuff in my life. But I push the boundaries of what humans in this time and place would define as music with a lot of the tones that I am choosing to work with. And I've also been introduced to even a genre like hyperpop. I would not say that my music is hyperpop, but even being aware that that exists as a genre now, it shows that the tastes of the time here are, people are much more willing to, let's say, expand their definition of what is considered music. It is beyond just flutes and violins, that glitches and other digital sounds can be woven together in order to create this type of music. So don't worry guys, I haven't gone fully digital because I remain true to the idea that I want to take analog sounds and my voice and use those as the sound samples. For right now, I've been working with a lot of prepared samples, and I love the results that I'm coming up with and then adding my voice into there. So what on Under a Gentle Sun, what I would do, I don't have a formula of what I do, but generally what I would do is set up instrumentation that is like the percussive and more regular, not background, but more regular, let's say, foundation of what the song is going to be, and then do a lot of soloing using, I don't know if you can see because I told you I set up my camera perfectly and then nothing worked, so I just put on my old tripod over here. So yeah, so I've got my really responsive keyboard over here. I don't know if you can also see because I have this kind of hidden under a wire, but there's my Lié, and I use that with this regular keyboard over here. And so when you listen to Under a Gentle Sun, I don't have a link yet. This is just, I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you all. This is teasing you to tell you that it is coming, but it's not ready yet. But you can still listen on SoundCloud, which still benefits me as the artist, which is very good. Yeah, you can listen to everything. It's in the process of being released, so I guess it has to grind through whatever motors exist or gears, like some old kind of device, like it has to grind through gears, and then eventually one day it will end up on Apple iTunes, or maybe it's something smaller, like a tiny little hamster has to run on its wheel very, very, very fast, and then magically the songs that I uploaded are available on iTunes, but that hamster has not run effectively yet. So getting silly, but I have full permission. Someone told me they like it when I get silly, so that's okay. Putting down melodic, lyrical layers on top of more regular foundation beats in the background, but also working with a lot of spliced together sounds and sounds that wouldn't traditionally be called the sounds that we make music out of. So I'm asking you to stretch your ears a little bit, but always fun. I want to just emphasize that to you. All of the music that I'm making, I feel like is very fun, even if it's a bit challenging to listen to, has a great beat, can dance to, and importantly, has a really wonderful energy to it. And some of that energy is uplifting, like, oh, I feel so gentle and I feel like lying in a hammock peacefully. And some of it is, pardon my French, kick ass. Yes, because there are some moments when that is what you need. You need like a powerful or a strong sound. So I've been really enjoying exploring synthesizers and synthesized music. That is not anathema. That is something that is like very interesting to me too, just in a pure sound structure way. And then weaving that in with even recordings of analog instruments. I'm trying to say, I'm just abstractly approaching all sounds as sounds and not worrying so much about what are their origins or whether they were digitized or exactly how they were changed into it. And I usually, oh, let me squint to see read what you're saying. She says, oh, sorry, I can't increase my mic levels because I just have my silly old phone over here. So I will move closer. Let me move my thing up too. How about we get closer? I was going to make like silly, romantic banter with you, like let us move closer, but then I thought like perhaps that is not good in this day and age. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys, like for anyone who's watching or anyone who catches this later, let me just drink some beautiful structured water. I'm like really not saying anything controversial on my YouTube. So you gotta understand, this is also an invitation. Come over to Patreon, because that's where I share my bizarre musical compositions. And also, I don't say anything that are my real thoughts and feelings about what is going on right now here on YouTube. This is pretty much just my artist channel for sharing my music and of course any visual projects that I have going on. And I want to keep this channel viable. Like I don't want to use certain words because, and have my channel no longer available. I have so many videos archived here that are of my online class that I think are really worthy materials of many, many years. And I don't want that to be lost. Like the reason why I've had those things here on YouTube is because I want people to be able to get the information out of there, especially during this time. And I know a lot more people are finding my work now. So I don't want to have that removed from availability because I'm saying anything controversial. So I'm sure you guys understand where I'm coming from on that. I invite you or re-invite you over to my Patreon. I'll make sure I put the link in the description, like maybe later today. Even for $1, this is not like some kind of a pitch or whatever, but I don't do the tier thing just because the pandemic has been crazy. So I assure everyone, like, come and join at any level that you feel comfortable joining at, even for $1, and you can be part of all of the. I do a lot of video conferences, and a lot of that is about getting people together in a positive way so that you can talk about all the things you're not allowed to talk about here. So yeah, if you guys have been wondering, what is the energetic weather report? What is going on with the things we have to spell out in order to, like what's it, the assimilation, the Borg, all of that. Like, don't worry guys, I'm not assimilated. So I want to reassure you, like, smile, everything is okay. Yeah, but no, I just don't talk about that stuff here. So please find me on my Patreon, and I upload my videos on Vimeo, and I find that I have whatever, less suppression, or I have the capacity to say what I need to say, because I definitely have a lot of feelings about what is going on with all of that. My music is an abstraction, and also I put a ton of positive energy into it, and it's also for people in any country. That's really big. So, but Under a Gentle Sun does have a couple of tracks that has some spoken word and the beginning of some lyric writing in there for me. So I did use one song in particular called Symphony of Life to communicate through words. And initially what I thought, and Symphony of Life is on SoundCloud, you can find it, I will link all this stuff. Initially what I thought I was going to do was, a lot of people take a lecture or any kind of TED talk or something like that and just put a nice dance beat behind it to kind of help, like, it helps the mind focus when you hear that and kind of drive you along and emphasize certain points with, drum breaks and things like that. Initially I was going to do that with one of my online lectures, like with what I do for my class, because I thought that would be a nice way to present that information, like I said, in a less scholarly fashion, and also the music does help it to break through the ego and go into different areas that are more receptive in your perception to be able to hear these concepts. But I always say, I'm just gonna make a simple thing, but then I always make it way more complex because I'm that way. Like, I'm like, no, we're gonna do it extra. So yeah, I had to be extra, and what I did was my usual, creating a melody and creating instrumentation, and then I I spoke, spontaneously. I didn't write lyrics, like, it's something that I'm still working on, but that I don't do yet. Yeah, so it's not like I have a giant songbook of lyrics to refer to. I'm much more comfortable with speaking extemporaneously, so I just recorded in front of my microphone as I would to, like, if I were speaking to a class or something like that, but I really wanted to try to distill down the ideas that I present and not have a whole big long lecture. And then I ended up, of course, doing a ton of video editing, because a huge part of my music making, like, I do the kitchen sink, I record everything, and then after I'm done with that very active and explosive aspect of like throwing paint everywhere, kitchen sink, everything goes into it, and then I sit down in a very scholarly sense and meticulously cut things out. Like, nope, that one, delete, because you listen 10 million times, you're like, nope, that one's not good, that one's not good, that one's not good, good. So it's not negative, but it's just a question of, like, you go into a different mode of just like paring everything down, and then in the end, it's like sculpting. Exactly. I heard someone's thoughts that you were thinking that either now or will in the future. Yeah, you start off with like a block of sound, and then you're like, okay, this is just like too much, and then in order to bring out the form of the song, a lot of it is sculpting and taking stuff away. So that's what I did a lot with my voice. I'm moving in exciting directions with my voice. It's not on this album, but I've just gotten access to some new software that allows me to do more sampling, looping, and manipulation, and that's really the direction that I'm going. I need to drink a little more. Just pardon me for one moment. That's really where I'm going. That's really where this musical journey has been taking me. So stick with me on the journey if you find that Aurora, it's like, if you're like, Aurora is making some very weird stuff. Where is this going? I'm like, have faith. It is going someplace good. Yeah, because all of these, like, I have to explore different musical styles. Just like in painting and in art making, I have to explore all sorts of different mark making, all sorts of different sizes and scales, and see what feels right and what is the most effective way for me to get my creative message across. And then in doing all of those various experiments from different directions, I take the best from everyone. I'm like, this one looked awesome but was very hard to do. This one was easy and fun to do but didn't have that great of a, end result. Taking the best from all these different things and tying it all together. I do the same type of things with the music projects that I'm doing. So you might hear a song and be like, this sounds like digital coyotes howling at each other. And like, this is very weird. Don't worry, everything doesn't sound like that. Everything won't sound like that going into the future. But that experiment and the other experiments along the way, I take the best parts of it and then end up fusing it together into a wonderful synthesis, a layered lasagna of flavors for your ears, of course, that is really balanced and awesome. So that's where I'm headed with this. Like, you'll hear in the future a lot more sampling coming up, a lot more digital manipulation of my voice. What you've heard up until this point on Birth of the Flying Rainbow Lasagna, it was pretty much just my raw voice with echoes added to it. Because again, like, I've improved I have more software, I have more things to use to change a voice and make it sound different. On this offering, which is Under a Gentle Sun, which is coming out soon, you'll hear my voice and a lot of other digital manipulation tricks and echoes and things like that. Yeah, I've been exploring that a lot more. And then as things are moving forward for me, that's really the direction that I'm going. So of course I have things that are, little things that are ready for you to listen to. I don't want to have a copyright problem. Sometimes I have copyright conflicts with myself if I play my own music that is copyright protected. Like, if I were to play it from my computer right now, I might have little issues with that. But I do want you to hear a little bit of what's coming from the upcoming album, and also, know what I'm talking about. And like, let me play some of this new weird stuff for you. Just like, I don't want to scare everyone off by being like, but then I think that if you listen to this, I think that you will say like, wow, that's really weird and bizarre and strange, and I want to hear more. I think that's what you're gonna say. Let me play this for you. I don't know if the sound quality will be good. Apologies again, you're on my phone doing this. Oh, hold on, that is way too loud. Everybody, I hope your eardrums are still intact. Oh my goodness, I'm turning it down. Let's turn it up a little now. Okay. Work in progress. I think you can hear where we're going. That is not something from Under a Gentle Sun. That is from that's what's on my tray for today. Now let me go to my playlist of what I've already got ready here. And again, I have all of these songs from Under a Gentle Sun are on SoundCloud. You don't have to pay any money to listen over there. It's not up on YouTube yet. Birth of the Flying Rainbow Lasagna is on YouTube, and it definitely benefits me, the artist. If you don't purchase my album, that's totally fine. You can listen, and it still benefits me very much. So it's good. It's very good. It helps me algorithmically. I thank anyone in advance that would like to do this. Let me play a little bit of the beginning of Inherit the Earth. This is one of those songs that I'm talking about that has like powerful sounds in it that are my words fail me. Just play it. Again, I'm just going to do these little clips so I don't have a problem with the copyright and everything like that, because otherwise then YouTube will take it down. And did I tell you that my YouTube was demonetized, not because I said anything controversial, but just because it was some rigmarole and then I had to wait for a postcard, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Disintegral, thank you for saying that. says some darker, moodier tones in there. That's exactly it. So now I have access to all of these different softwares. And so what I would in other songs, I might use an orchestral deep bass or deep cello to get those, you know, like deep, dark tones, everything at the lower end of the piano. Now I have all these synthesizer sounds that I can do with that. I feel like I have a broader palette, and I'm not afraid to use use sounds that are digital. Like again, I reassure you all, I'm not a transhumanist. I'm not joining the Borg, nothing like that, and that's not what my music represents. I feel like I can speak this message of lasagna, of pure freedom, through whatever medium there is. Like we could play it on the spoons, you know, we could hand clap it together, we could do it in a very low tech way. I feel happy and excited that society still has maintained enough, like social fabric is still together enough for electricity and software and all these things to still work for me to be able to explore using the digital world in this way. And I really feel that there is a way that where it's like biologically positive to be exposed to these frequencies. And like I say, right now I'm working with prepared samples. I feel like as I, as I grow as a music producer, then I'm interested in making my own samples from analog instruments and being able to, we always level up the lasagna. So, but yeah, I share my journey with you, and anyone who's been part of, either my Patreon or watching my music journey here, like since last year, I'm certain that you have noticed that the quality of what I'm able to make in terms of a song, to earth standards, you know what I mean? Like the feeling is always there, but in some of the earlier songs that I made, my capabilities and accessibility of the software that I had, I feel was not perfect. And then I keep on problem solving and finding new software and always looking for that sound. So understand, I'm always searching for that sound, and it's something that is a feeling headspace that is where I am and also where I want to be and where I want to invite others to be. That is the purpose that I have for making all this music. So it definitely fuels my flying rainbow lasagna, whatever, hyper-dimensional inner and outer journeys. Like it's definitely gas that makes my car go. And I also use it for meditations, and some songs work beautifully for like going on, close your eyes, go on an inner journey, something like that. And also keeps me from being bored. Like I feel like I've explored a lot of visual artistry, and that the musical artistry is so new to me that like, oh, I can't wait to get up and look at this new thing. Oh my goodness, hold on a second. Pardon me, that was that prompt saying, Aurora, you have to plug in your phone because you're almost done with your battery. So I can plug in my phone, it's right here. And also, I think that I'll wrap up my video because I only intended to make this like a quick, hold on a second, I'm jiggling everything. I'm jiggling. Hold on, guys. So sorry. Because I'm sure I made a noise at you too. I intended to make just a quick, short, informal video. I'm telling you all about the new album, going through every song. No, I will not go through every song. This was just, I'm teasing you, and everybody's gonna tune in later. So let me wrap it up. Thank you so much. And also, I recognize there have been some long pauses in between me doing my recordings here on YouTube. Find me over on Patreon, where I am much more consistent in my offerings. Let me also send out good wishes, because I feel like, oh my goodness, like I've been in this video right now, I've been like, rather work a day and rather, just focused on mundanities of music and sharing that with others, like very, whatever we would call it, materialistic, hard-edged, objective material world stuff. But we do recognize that there is something that is going on that is much more subtle, that requires a different level of perception, that is a very great challenge, and that, I don't ignore any of that. All of that is still going on. Not for me to speak about it in this video, but I'm sending out the best good wishes for everyone to maintain the integrity of like your soul, yes, the dignity of your beingness, your personal boundaries in terms of what you will and will not ingest, and also which people you do or do not wish to spend time with or interact with, either because of their mentality or some aspect of their biology or energy structure. And just to affirm to all of you, very, very challenging times. Please maintain your real knowledge that God is real, very, very real, like not the biblical God, but God and divinity is a very, very real thing, and that we're just going through an incredibly difficult time in this world. And like this world is many, many layers of all of this. It's big, clearly, and that's what I talk about in the Patreons, where I also feel more comfortable sharing personally about what I experience and about like I will also, I mean, I'll share to the general public here on YouTube. Like 2020 might not have been a very good year for other people in terms of the economy and health and other things like that. But I really found for me that I experienced a lot of personal healing and physical positive restructuring of my body and finding abilities that I didn't have before in terms of, you know, athletic abilities and things like that. Nothing that is superhuman, but things that are super foreign because they're beyond things that are beyond what I could have done. So a huge leveling up for me in terms of, you know, be inhabiting this body, being healthy in this body, and being able to more fully express the ideas and the truth that I bring here, either through singing, which is a very physical thing, or through dance and body movement, which clearly is a very physical thing. So this is also like a big part of me moving away from a more intellectual approach, where, you know, it might be about typing in front of a keyboard, or you just see me in front of a keyboard, and I'm really like, I am really expanding a lot in terms of my energy field. And as my body comes more online, I guess that's a good way of saying it, but you know, I'm not a robot, then these are more of the types of projects that I'm enjoying making. Oh, wait. They make that thing go back. Oh, God, I couldn't read it fast enough. Sorry. Someone else was sharing about the past year being so difficult. Again, I recognize this is like we're in foxholes, you know, like with artillery going on around us. Oh, someone saying the Stockholm Syndrome blues. I'm not exactly sure what that is directed towards, but I do understand like many people are embracing their servitude. I don't know what is the best word to say, and feel kind of like walking on eggshells here. So challenging. Find me on Patreon where we can have a real conversation about this. It is very dismaying that we are at that level in our present level of social breakdown, where we really truly cannot communicate directly through a major medium such as this particular website here. That's just something that has to be acknowledged, and that if you want to talk more, then it's necessary to speak in different forums, because this is just not it, and that's where we are at. So the social fabric maintains electricity and software, but not necessarily certain rights or abilities to express ourselves. How very dismaying. And again, when I smile or make that face, that's not because I'm like dumb or something like that. It's because it's really upsetting. And that's like when you're like trying not to be upset in front of other people. So thank you for understanding that. Yeah, you totally get it. You guys totally get it. Yeah. So in some ways, like my portrayal here in my YouTube is like, this is not the real me at all. This is like me being like, la-di-da, let's talk about music. But there's really something much greater going on that is very troubling and dismaying at times, and that there's a big conversation to talk about that. But also, just personally between all of us, I find that it's really important sometimes to focus on something that is more positive than just the ongoing agenda in humanity and what is happening in terms of social structure. Like, it's really important for me to unplug and just play music and just be me playing music. And that was my intention with the songs that I wrote of Under a Gentle Sun. I wanted to give a bubble of sanity to people in a literally insane world where you're surrounded by crazy people, where you could put on headphones or get into your music bubble and be like, like that is what life is supposed to feel like. Like, you're not supposed to be sprayed with chemicals in the sky. You're not supposed to have frequency assaults from, you know, various different places around. You're not supposed to have unwholesome thoughts coming to you, like synthetic telepathy or any of those things like that. We could go on more, but I just won't use any keywords. But yeah, there's so much more to life than, like I said, just being like a soldier in a foxhole, like looking around, like that, you know, that feeling that many people have of just very being very unsettled or insecure. There is so much more to life when you get to feel secure, when everything is cool, and then you actually get to expand and make art and music. So I'm already there. I'm like, not in a bad way, but I'm like guys, like I am making the party. Come to the party. That's what I make this music for. And the party is also a mental state that we are trying to achieve. And it's very, very difficult. None of this is escapism. All of this is in full recognition of the effed upness of the situation that we find ourselves in. So I make the music intentionally positive because it's like I need to hear stuff that's positive and empowering and that kicks ass every day, so that way I feel good. Like I don't write depressive music. You will not. That's one thing you will not hear from me. And sometimes I do write music that sometimes it sounds wistful, and I listen to it and I'm like, I don't know if I want to release that song because I don't know if I want to send out that energy, because I want to give everyone like total accoutrements that they need in order to fight effectively in their life. So I will wrap it up on that. Thank you so much. Like, I get beautiful support in the comments on my YouTube. I don't want to jinx it, but I get beautiful people finding my work and commenting back to me. So thank you so much. And literally, wishing everyone to have like strength and integrity, and be your true selves. Keep on being your true human selves. However flawed, however imperfect. All right, with flaws and all. Thank you, everyone. Much love to you. I gotta press a button. I don't know, man. I gotta do something. There we go. Press a button. No? I don't know what to do. Oh, you're so welcome. There we go. There we go.